Today we're going to learn how to install the TFT24 version 1.1 as a touchscreen LCD on the BigTreeTech SKR version 1.4. So in order to do that, we need to know what the connectors look like. Now to start with, we have a cable here. This is our TFT cable. This will connect to the back side of the TFT display, and the other end will connect to your computer, and I'll show you how to do that in just a moment, but I want to show you the back of the TFT display. So on the back of the TFT display, we have several connectors. We have our USB, we have our SD card reader, and then we have our ribbon cable for using it as a RepRap Smart Discount full graphics computer as an emulator. But then one of these two connections over here is used for the TFT. So we can check the manual real quick and see what this looks like. So here's the TFT24 version 1.1 user guide. Some people will also call it a data sheet. But for the moment, what we're going to do is we're just going to navigate around real quick to see how to set it up. So as you're scrolling down, it says a little bit about it. Right here, it says what I think are the connectors, but they're in Chinese. So this one says RS-232, and then this one says SWD. So my guess is it's going to be the RS-232 because that's usually used for communications. So let's scroll down and see if there's a little bit more information. Apparently not. So we're going to guess this connection right here is what we're working with. So I'll show you how to do that. So what I've done here is I've zoomed in on the SKR version 1.4 so that we can see the TFT, so that we know where reset, RX0, TX0, ground, and power is, because this is going to be relevant when we set it up. So let's go over and look at the actual boards to see if we can connect them. So on the back of the TFT display, we found the connection that seems closest to what we're looking for connection. So we're going to use the notched connection and connect to the drive, or excuse me, the LCD. So we know that's good. Now we know that the connections over here trace out the same. So we need to connect them as follows. So we're going to connect these right here, and then we're going to connect this one right next to it, which is power. So to verify that it works, what we're going to do is we're going to fire it up with the USB connection and make sure nothing smokes. And now I need to connect the other end of the USB. And it looks like it's perfectly fine. So now in order to actually set it up, we may need to use Marlin, but in this case our speed for our baud rate is defaulted to 250 megabits per second, or excuse me, 200,000,000 bits a second, pardon me. So we're going to click on settings, and right now it's set to 115/200. You can adjust that in the Marlin firmware, or you can do this. And then we'll give it a second and see if it works by leaving this menu. Now, evidently it didn't work, so we're going to have to load Marlin firmware. So I'll show you how to do that real quick. Okay, as usual, we're going to check to see what the USB drive from the SKR looks like. Our current firmware reads this time. So let's go over to VS Code. And what we need to do in this particular configuration is we need to go to Marlin, then Source, then Core, then Boards. We need to do a search on SKR. We need to copy board underscore bigtree underscore SKR underscore V1 underscore 4. Then close out of boards, collapse this folder, and then go to configuration.h. We want to do a search on motherboard, and then we want to highlight board underscore ramps underscore 14 underscore EFB and paste what we just copied. Then we're going to go up, and this time we're not going to change the serial port. We're going to leave it at serial port 0. But we will do a check on our steppers because we have to set those up sometimes. So we're going to do a search on A4988. And as you can see right here, normally if you were to load, these wouldn't work unless you remove the comments. So we're going to remove the comment for the X, the Y, the Z, and we'll do E0, which is our first extruder. And then we'll go over to platform io.ini, and as you can see, the chipset is currently set to the Mega ATmega 2560. So we need to change that to the chipset we're using, which is LPC 1768. And then we need to compile and upload to our board. So we're going to click this arrow over here and let it go. Once again, as you can see, it took just under 3 minutes to compile, and it says that it's successful for our chipset being the LPC 1768. Now keep in mind that I purchased this TFT28 with my own money, and no one's sponsoring me to do the tutorial, but I will be placing Amazon affiliate links in the description in order for you to find it better or help support me. So now that that's done, let's go back to the SD drive and verify that the firmware did copy over, which is firmware.bin, and note the time. So what we want to do next is disconnect and reconnect the USB. Okay, so I'm going to turn off the power to the USB by removing it. Now I'm going to reconnect it. And as you can see, the firmware is updated, and on the LCD, we no longer have printer disconnected. So if you like my tutorial, please press the like button and subscribe. And thank you for your time.